What about now? I think it should be working now. Yeah, I can hear the audio. Damn. Okay. Anyway, I mean, I was just explaining how I was doing like setup. Let's change this. Change this to SQL files. SQL syntax. I meant, but Claude will get it. That's the only thing that sometimes I feel that we as programmer community can be a little bit lazy, or we may be becoming a little bit lazy, having to rely on Claude for very simple things. That was an easy change. Cool. So I don't know if you guys are seeing this. This is something that I implemented. Basically, what this is where's my check? So here, what I do is I do init and check migration. So what this does is it goes through the migrations directory, which is whatever I declare on my main function. So this checks if there's migrations to be executed, and then it executes the migrations. So that's, I don't know, something that I think it's cool. Hola, llevo casi un año estudiando Golang en el backend. Me gustaría consultar generalmente cuando posees el backend en Go. ¿Sueles usar en el frontend de acuerdo a tu preferencia? ¿Qué sueles usar? Yo personalmente me gusta más usar React. No me gusta. Usé Vue, estuve trabajando como por 4 meses en una empresa usando Vue y la verdad que Vue no me encanta. For all English speakers watching this, so Israel is asking if I prefer Vue or React for the front end whenever I'm doing any, backend project with Go. And personally, I prefer React. I think there's more market, and just in general, I'm more versed with React, so I probably have a bias towards React. Okay, so that migration was automatically applied, which is good. If I go here and do select all from fields, there you go. We have the fields there. Let me see if I can zoom in. I don't know how to zoom this, but here it is. So that's good. I think that should be good for now. So services, we have games, we have groups, where each service will have its own store, and it'll have its route file. We also want to add types here, and we can have here the interface for the groups. So I can do, for example, type group struct, where I'm just going to be referencing my SQL table and the group. There should be a group user relation or in the group. Yeah, I'll probably have to redo this. That's an oversight on my end. No, user group relation here. There you go. Never mind. So we'll have the ID of type string. Then we'll have the name of type string. There you go. Interface group store. So what do we want to do with a group? We want to be able to create a group. Create group. Create get group by ID, where we provide an ID of type string. Then we return either a pointer or a group struct. Here probably we just return nil. Edit group, where we need to pass the ID of the group, and if we edit it, we can return nil. By the way, probably I can close this. Create, get, edit, delete group, and get all groups, where we will return a slice of groups or an error. And probably the same here. I think that should be about it. Yeah, I won't overthink it. I'm gonna check my notes for a couple of things. All right. Let's go into the services groups. Let's put the package name. Let's go first with the store. So what we're going to do is create a type. We'll create a store type where this will have the DB pointer. We will also create a constructor. And return the store. Which I could probably destructure this, but I need to return, what is it? SQL.db? No, what am I doing? Return a pointer to the store. There you go. So this is going to be pointing to the store, and we'll probably get the interface, how do you say, the type, not type inference, but if let me close this. If I go into the main.go, if I go into, let me save this so it doesn't look funky. Get all groups. If I go here into my serve method, I can go ahead and create a group store equals to groups.new store, and I have to pass the DB here. Which actually, yeah, no, it shouldn't be here. Which I can actually do like so. And then once I do this, then I can pass the store into the router, but I don't have that created yet, so I'll wait for that. Okay. Get all groups. Okay. This is going to return a slice of groups, and probably need to get this through the types.group. There you go. Or an error. I'll get there. But essentially this could be like types.group and like an empty slice. But obviously we won't return this. We'll actually return something. So how do we do this? First of all, I need to create a context. So the contexts are useful whenever you are trying to do functions that depend on, in the case of the database, on the database connection. So with that context, you can cancel that if something goes wrong. So with timeout, not without. So we want to have the context, making sure that you know, we're making the query within the described timeout. DB timeout, why don't I have these types? Okay. 5 times dot second. I believe that is what I normally have. Defer cancel. Yeah, that looks about right. And I just want to make sure that types do timeout time seconds time. Okay, so normally I put 3 seconds. Which in my opinion, I've seen that before, having the number prior to the time.second, but to me this is more readable. Seconds times 3, so you know that is 3 seconds. Anyway, it really doesn't matter much. You know, the product doesn't alter the result. But yeah, let's go back to the store of the groups. Let's start creating our get query. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to build the query. So I'm going to do select, and I don't like to do all from groups, and this is the reason behind my way of doing this. I don't like doing this because if for some reason you add more columns, whenever you do your query in Golang, whenever you're like assigning the result into a struct, if you have this, you may be returning more than what you actually expect. So that's why I like to declare everything in the query. So this is what I like to do, and groups is just like ID and user, so there's really not much. Obviously, you know, when you add a relation, that's like the important query. But anyways, so select ID and name from groups. We can actually do it like that. And then rows, because we're gonna get multiple groups if we have those three. Well, not those three, those are fields. If we create multiple groups, sorry. So ctx query. Ctx is a context, meaning we want to execute the query with a context, and meaning if nothing goes wrong, then we will you know, execute the query with no problem. Otherwise we'll get an error, you know, with this either logging or, well, this won't log, but like in the routes we'll use a logger showing how this error out due to a timeout or whatever. So now that we have handled that, let me close this. Groups. So we'll declare a slice of type group. And then we can do the following for rows.next var group types.group. So this is a single group, and we will append it to this on every for loop. And this rows.next, it'll just like iterate through the rows result that we get from the query from the DB. So we also have to make sure that we are not getting an error. So this will be handled right after I declare everything. So rows.scan, and we can easily assign this to group.id and group.name. We'll put that there. So if there's no error, then we continue. Otherwise, we return nil slice and we return the error. And this need commas. So again, as I was saying, if there's no errors, I can easily do groups equals append groups. And this is funny because you're passing like this same slice, but you know, the append method it's kind of saying like add this single group into the, you know, slice, which is also a pointer to the memory where all the groups, or where the array is keeping the, you know, all the groups. Once that is done, then now we don't need to return this, we just return the groups slice. And that should be it. Now let's go ahead and create the create our group method. Create group. We need to pass the data. Payload data. Yeah, I'll call it data. And then I'll just return nil or error. But you don't need to show what you just created. You could, but you don't have to. I used to before, but as long as you return like a, what is it, a 204, like a successful creation HTTP code, you're good. So first of all, I can copy that and paste it here. Now I could probably like create a function to reuse like this functionality, but it may be more cumbersome, so copy pasting wasn't that bad either. So I'll just keep doing that for now. So to create, we do insert into groups. Values, let's see, I probably have this on the seed. Insert into groups. And then we put the values. So probably name, because the ID is just like self-created. I don't know what the word is, but it'll create itself. And the values will be, is it $1? I forget. Yeah, $1. Okay. I think that's it. That's very simple for the groups. Query. There you go. So now I can simply do so the underscore, normally you don't do underscores. When people do underscores, it's because there's a like an error and they're trying to omit the error, but in this case, like I'm omitting the response because I don't care about a response when I create something as long as there's no error. So that's why sometimes I put the underscore there, but let's see, we could put a message there. So I'll put that there. I'll pass a query. And oh, I need to create a reference. No, that's fine. No, never mind. Actually, what I can do is data.name. That should be fine. I actually I don't know if it's message. Let's see. Yeah, SQL result. So yeah, I don't care about the SQL results. So I'll leave it as an underscore. I feel that this was way too simple. I feel that I'm missing something. Guess not. Create. Let's just add the delete functionality and no, I can test this. Delete group. I'll also return an error if there's an error, or otherwise nil. So this will be actually very simple also. There you go. Then I'll create the query. delete from groups where ID is equal to $. Yeah, that should be fine. Then I will probably be doing the same setup for this. db.execute context, where I can pass a context, pass a query, and then pass the ID. And I'm just gonna double check. I mean, I guess I could log this, but I really don't care for logging. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Let's see if well, I am missing some implementations, but let's see. Get all groups, yeah. Create group. Yep. And this delete group, not delete group by ID. Okay. Interesting. Oh, there you go. Okay. So now I need to create the routes. So we can be using that. So func new router. Let me check the notes. Handler. Handler is what I was looking for. So I'm gonna return a handler with a field store. What am I doing? This goes here, but there you go. And the store is of type. Been doing too much TypeScript. There you go. No, this group store. There you go. So this is the interface. And we want to point this private field to the interface so we can, I don't know if subscribe is the word, but want to make sure we are following the interface behavior, which is the group store interface. So it will go here. We know that in order to belong to this interface, we need to have all these implementations. So this will be our, it's not new router, it's new handler. So this is our handler constructor, where we'll pass a store and we'll return a handler pointer. And here we return the struct that we created above, And I could actually, for people that know JavaScript, you can destructure this and just leave it as it is, or write that. So either or. So here I'm going to register the routes for, I don't have Chi router installed. So I'm going to register routers for the groups service. And I like Chi B5 library, so I'll leave it like that. So I like to append the routes with the version. So that's why I do the router.route. Then we pass a anonymous function here. And we can now register our routes. So we can do route.get router. And we're getting all the groups here. So we can do here get all groups. Well, I need to pass obviously the request and response parameters here. So write equals http dot response writer, and this is the request, so http request. And we do it in the following way because we do know like what we want to write, but we don't know what type of data we're gonna get. So hence the pointer here. So what we want to do is get the different type of groups. Otherwise we could get an error, and we can do from here h.store.go groups. If there's an error, then we want to log it. This one then I want to check. I probably want to access this somehow. So normally I have either utils or helpers. Let's see. Effective login. This is what I was looking. Initialize. Oh, that's true. So what I'm doing here, normally I have like my own custom logger, but apparently SAP is a standard login library, which is used by Uber. So I wanted to use that, but as Claude is pointing out correctly, I'm just declaring this right now, where I could use it here and here and here. So I could probably declare it somewhere here and then do logger dot fatal. Okay. Fatal W. Why W? Let's ask. Why does the logger has logger dot fatal W at the end? Why not just logger dot fatal? What? Okay. So message key 1 value key 2. Oh, okay, interesting. Let's see what this was suggesting. Okay, here there's no key value, so I don't know why there's a W here. This makes sense. The key value. This doesn't. This doesn't. This does. Ah, interesting. By the way, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to put them on the chat. Oh, I could do this. And leave that there. It's not fatal. What is it? Error. Something like that. Message. Yeah. Yep, that's fine. Where else am I logging? Okay, that seems to be fine. Okay, I don't think I'm missing anything. So I'm gonna start registering the route that I just created. Let's get rid of that log. I'll ask ChatGPT in a little bit. I mean, ChatGPT, Claude. Anyway, so I have that. Then I have my groups handler equals to groups new handler, and I'll just pass the group store. Streamers.com. Nope, I'm good. Did I write it wrong? Group store variable. Oh, see, so that's what's cool about the interface. So you see how like we're getting an error there. Where create group, we have it's saying like, oh, we have this, but according to what you wrote on the interface, you have an empty arguments function and just returning, well, that's the same, but like the return an error part. But what I'm saying is that it checks for you if you're implementing the interface to follow it. Like if you want to implement it, then you have to follow it. But since the interface is not fully updated, I can go to groups and say create group obviously needs something, which is data or a payload in order to create a group. So I could just do that. And now it shouldn't be complaining, but let's see what else it's complaining about. Oh, missing method edit group. Okay. So I'll just create something simple. Func store edit group. Missing method get group ID. Jesus. Func s store ID different types, and we'll put that there. So we'll return those two, a group type and an error. If there's no error, then it'll be just a nil return value. For now, before actually implementing this, I can just do the following. Types.group, which is an empty struct, and then just pass the nil there. To do implement. Perfect. And now we don't have an error of bad implementation. It's just if you declare this, use it. That's what the linter is complaining about. So now I can do groups.handler dot register routes, and then just pass the router. What does it? Cannot type gmux. What? That's version 5. Oh. Wait. That's annoying. No, it is new router. Then why am I getting an error? don't know why I'm getting that error. See, can I use a type chmux as chmux as chmux value in argument groups handle or register routes? Wait, saying can I use a pointer? Yeah. So cannot use a variable of type pointer as a struct. Okay, there you go. Let's see. Oh, duh. It's just, yeah. There you go. Oh, get all groups, of course. Or here we should do a logger, but for the moment, let's do the following. Then, oh, I need to create a JSON helper. Let's power through this. Let's go. Let's create a helper to write and read JSON data. Write JSON response. Yeah, we want to be able to do this in order to show it on React. JSON methods. Package helpers. Yeah, that's fine. Which one is the one that I use the most? So I have two methods to write to write JSON. So it's the ones that I use the most. Write JSON and write error. It should be an error JSON, but whatever. Okay, and I think that's it. Yeah. Alright, so let's use those two for now. And as I need more, I'll write more. But this should be fine. So here we're just gonna pass the response writer, right? Because we want to write JSON responses and send them to whichever client is requesting that information. So http.responseWriter. We can also return a status. That could be from 200 all the way to 500 type of HTTP code. I don't know how I feel about this, because you could put data and maybe any, but still, I don't know. I'll circle back to that. We need the headers, and I'll return error if there's an error, otherwise nil. So let's return, well, let's build this and then write it. At will be the thing that we want to output. And this is just like a little bit of, I wouldn't say cleanup, just organization in general. Checking for headers, so we have the headers, set the headers. Alright, so with this we'll be able to set the information. Well, first of all, we'll set the status, so write header status, and then we can put the message. And return nil if there's no error. So now I can go ahead to my groups route and do helpers. Write JSON, where if I recall it was data. Oof, I'm super tired. What was it? The right goes first, and then headers. Nil. So that's this argument. Well, status HTTP dot Status okay. Well, that seems fine. Let's try this. Oof, guys, I want to keep on coding, but I'm sleeping here. I'm super sleepy. I woke up too early today, so. But I want to see this working before I leave. As crappy as it may be at the moment, I want to see something before I cut the stream. Alright, so routes should have been registered. So, well, I don't even have to use Postman for this. PI v1 groups localhost. v1 groups port. I'm not even putting running on port. I need to fix the logger thing too, so I can have it globally accessible. On port. Address. Turn on port 8080. Okay, so that should be fine. So technically, I should be able to do. What is it, curl? Man, I wanted to do React, but I'm so tired. I may stream tomorrow, like early morning. Alright, so it's not me not doing the curl command well, it's definitely something here. Which technically we should be able to also do this. Without spell mistakes. Yeah, no, still nothing. What am I doing wrong? I feel that I have an error on main.go. That could have been it. That was not it. on port 8080. Yeah, I don't know why this is not showing something. It should. Maybe here I'm missing passing like the router. I don't know. I'm gonna check my other project for notes. No, that seems good. Oh yeah, Dolores just there to assign it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I don't see why this would be error in out. I don't see anything on my console. What's that? A couple of out of the box middlewares. Let's add course. I'm probably gonna have to install it. Okay, guess not. Jesus Christ, I need the linter for this. Let's see, middleware is almost the same as Chi router B5. It's just that it has a middleware appended. Middleware. Then cores, I believe it's the same. Well, actually, no. Chi. There you go. Now let's. There you go. All middlewares must be defined. Why is this complaining? This is gonna have to continue tomorrow. I'm just beyond tired. At least we did a couple of backend stuff, so migrations, setting up routes, setting up the store that communicates to the database. You guys saw the database, been filled in with the SID data. So at least we did something, but I may fall asleep here on my desk if I continue. So I'm just gonna stop here. But hopefully you saw a lot of the goal inside, and tomorrow in the morning I'm just gonna continue, but also add the React part. So yeah, thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.